He's like 50 years old. I mean, it's amazing. His understanding of where the punches are coming. Look at that counter. His understanding of, is that the dude he boxed?
Yeah, he's talking about the video.
Oh, let's hear him say it. What he said.
Oh my God, I didn't even see that. That was a big body shot. Like he's coming.
And he touched you with that.
Yeah, just touched him.
Oh, Jesus.
He's going to have an exhibition with Tyson, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mike is so much bigger than him.
Yeah,
he's
but
so much bigger than him.
he's not going to land a fist on Mayweather.
Right.
It's not after his last performance. You know, I think Tyson just needs
What do
to
you think
it.
was going on with that, the last one? It looked a little bit like sparring.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. pushes through a grueling 6-round sparring session with a heavyweight partner, refining his technique as he prepares for a showdown with Mike Tyson.
You know, I mean, you got to think this guy is 50 years old. I mean, how old is Floyd now? He's got to be close to.
Got to be late 40s, 48.
Yeah, late 40s. But I mean, past his prime, and still just making millions of dollars fighting people that have no business. He's really brilliant. What he's doing is brilliant because he gets these guys to fight him. They have no business fighting him. He's making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
He puts on a show. You see the one he did, I guess it was in Dubai, where he took the ring card and he was walking around in between rounds holding the ring card.
Oh my God, I
Took
didn't
it
see
from
that
the ring
one.
card girl. He was just
Mayweather glides across the canvas with sharp focus, unleashing crisp combinations, lightning reflexes, and measured power that keeps every sparring partner alert and cautious. Following that intense round, Floyd stepped in again, sparring yet another fighter to extend his preparation. At 49, his speed, timing, and ring IQ remain remarkably sharp, a clear signal to Tyson that Mayweather is still operating at an elite level.
Slide and drop. Waiting, careful. Drop. Walking. Pitch. Sit. Touch it. Watch it, watch it. I step back, like I said, my...
Inside camp, Floyd remains relentless, snapping punches into the pads with pinpoint accuracy. Every movement reflects discipline, technical precision, and an obsession with perfecting the smallest details.
Last one. It looked a little bit like sparring.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was scripted.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen Tyson biting his gloves, and like you could just, it was taking all that he could not to like hit him. And it was just like, it's heartbreaking to see a icon go out like that.
Yeah.
You know, and
but it's crazy also to see him fight at 57 years old. Like,
yeah,
that's nuts.
but still, like, he shouldn't have been in there at all. You know, I think it's other ways.
Yeah.
You know, it's other ways for.
But what did he get?
People.
He got at least 20, right?
Yeah, but still, I think.
I think he needed that money.
Yeah, but with all his connections and things like that, I think people could have put him in the right position to make some money.
If he's got people with him that are looking out for his best interest, but you know how it is. When there's a guy like that, that's a big name, usually everybody around him pretends they're looking out for their best interest, but there's always lawsuits later on. You find out someone was stealing money or not paying him what he deserved. There's always a bunch of bullshit involved.
On commentary, Joe Rogan points out Floyd's smaller build compared to Tyson's size advantage. Meanwhile, analyst Trent argues that Tyson's showing against Jake Paul suggests he may struggle to land clean, meaningful shots on Mayweather.
Strong as an ox, but how much can you really expect him to do anything versus Floyd? Couldn't really land on, I mean, he landed like 1 or 2 punches on Jake, but couldn't really do much with him. What's he going to try to do with Floyd Mayweather? Floyd's going to make him look silly in this exhibition, and it's going to look worse than what we saw with Jake because of, you know, how small Floyd is. But Terrence Crawford said something interesting there as well. He said, you know, I've never seen Mike Tyson bite his gloves like that. And I think Terrence Crawford is a pretty big historian of the sport. And I'm not saying he should know everything about it. I certainly don't. But Mike Tyson has indeed bit his gloves. And this is what Terrence is talking about. This was the you know, narrative around the fight was that Mike Tyson was biting his gloves so that he wouldn't punch Jake in the face because that...
Wade Plemons analyzes the Jake Paul-Tyson bout, noting how revealing it was about Tyson's current condition. Despite Jake's cautious approach, Tyson appeared fatigued at times, with slower reactions and reduced punching impact compared to his prime years.
Even the great Teddy Atlas has spoken about this with Tyson and his career.
Questions out there, my son told me, about the thumb biting, okay? Thumb biting, right? And we're not talking about the thumb biting with your nephews or with your children or, you know, with that stuff. We're talking about Mike Tyson biting his thumb during the call. First of all, that's something that he did in his amateur day, he did in his pro days, and now, of course, he did it again. That's something that he has done, and he's, you know, for people that follow Mike Tyson, his career, they've seen it before. People are saying, oh, and Tyson's smart, he's witty, you know, he knows what to say, he knows the image, he knows the importance of having that image, you know, how important, that's why he got all the money. It wasn't about what he had left at 58, it was what maybe he might have, and the image, the scary guy.
Plemons stresses that those vulnerabilities could be magnified against Mayweather. Unlike Jake, Floyd relies on precision, speed, timing, and technical mastery rather than brute force. His calculated combinations and ability to exploit mistakes present a far greater tactical challenge. In Plemons' view, the matchup carries serious risk and highlights a noticeable gap in readiness and style.
Do you like the fight as a matchup? I mean, it's not like Floyd's jumping in with someone who's been necessarily so active. I know Manny had a fight last year, but other than that, he was off for a while. So yeah, what do you think of the matchup itself?
I don't think that matchup is really off because, I mean, he fought Barrios, and I don't know if he had any more fights in between that or whatever. But the thing is, is that you got two guys that are, you know, old for boxing, but it's good for them to be fighting one another. So, and I mean, and plus they are two of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So, you know, that part is easy to sell. That part is easy to sell. But the one thing is this, is that, you know, it took a long time for that.
Jeff Mayweather explains why Floyd's fights continue to spark debate. He believes part of Floyd's lasting appeal comes from embracing the villain role in boxing. Some fans questioned outcomes of major bouts, especially against high-profile rivals like Manny Pacquiao, which only fueled continued interest and controversy.
I think boxing think that the wrong guy won. So that's why it's easy, because Floyd always was the bad guy. Once again, he's gonna be the bad guy. And I think that if there's any way to try to remove his O, it may happen.
Do you believe this is a comeback for more than one fight? Do you believe we'll see him for 3, 4, however many fights?
I don't know. I just think that the fight with him and Pacquiao is one of those fights, like I said, that the wrong guy won. And I think that's why this fight is still happening.
Many felt the Pacquiao result left unfinished business, keeping talk of rematches alive. Jeff says Floyd's ability to play the antagonist while consistently winning drives both excitement and revenue. Beyond boxing, he's expanding his reach through his YouTube channel, Jeff Mayweather Official, and his apparel brand, Playhouse Athletic, continuing the family legacy.
People like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is, and the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules, exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting a. Forget all that. These things can get figured out. The fine details. The fact that it was announced. Why announce something with no date or location attached?
Ariel Helwani recently discussed boxing's unpredictable landscape, explaining that big fight announcements often involve complex negotiations unseen by fans. Even respected voices like Carl Froch sometimes see how quickly speculation can be mistaken for confirmation.
Trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
You don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again. I think if this match was made on the heels of Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr., I think this would be blockbuster. I think people would be falling over themselves to consume this. After the Jake Paul version of Mike Tyson, I don't think anybody's going to be in.
Helwani emphasizes that contracts, promotional deals, timing, and logistics all determine whether a fight truly materializes. Until agreements are signed, even the most hyped matchups remain uncertain.
Intrigue to this at all? No. Not really. I don't think so. I mean, Manny Pacquiao's had a fight recently, hasn't he, against Mario Barris, who just lost his title to Ryan Garcia, deservedly so. And that was a draw in which most people saw Pacquiao at the end of his career, saw what was left of him, and were not too happy that he came back again. Floyd Mayweather has had a variety of different bouts. I mean, I hear that he's going to fight Mike Tyson. I don't understand what that thinking is. Or an exhibition. We've seen him fight and hold up Conor McGregor in an exhibition fight. It's Netflix building entertainment models around sports. Sport is entertainment. It crosses over. Netflix have got a proven model of success that ultimately they invest some money into these sort of things, whether it's Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson or Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. They'll look at their lifetime value of their average subscriber, not every subscriber, but their average.
Broadcaster Simon Jordan questions the sporting value of certain Mayweather exhibitions, suggesting they lean more toward entertainment than elite competition. He notes how platforms like Netflix invest in spectacle-driven events featuring names such as Jake Paul, Tyson, or even Anthony Joshua. prioritizing global engagement and commercial success.
Multiply it by the amount of subscribers they think they're going to get as new ones, and they make a commercial decision.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because everything that they've done so far is massive, and this obviously will be a talking point. I mean, Anthony Joshua's knockout victory over Jake Paul in December wasn't something that the boxing fraternity wanted, but it appears to be that they understand what people want, what the rest of the community wants, and actually, I don't know if that's the algorithm or just good research or just good instincts, but they do great numbers.
They have a 300 million subscriber base around the world, bigger than that now. I think the growth on the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fights, I think they got 2 million subscribers out of it, new subscribers. Now, irrespective of whether some of those subscribers churn or don't stay for a long period of time, the average Netflix subscriber is worth $900. Some will be worth $1,500, some will be worth $29.99. So the average Netflix subscriber is worth $900.
Jordan argues that modern boxing spans from pure sport to media-driven spectacle, where personality and promotion can outweigh competitive merit. Streaming giants have accelerated this shift, broadening boxing's audience and financial ecosystem worldwide.
He did beat Pacquiao, and nobody has changed the game like Floyd Mayweather. Yeah,
in a
right.
bad
In
way.
a bad way.
In a
Thank
bad
you.
way. Yeah, you got it. In a bad way.
He was so big and so dominant. I can't do that. But that's,
he mastered the art of knowing when to fight somebody and when not to fight somebody. I mean, he's the best in that game. He's the best in, making money and making all the, the huge fights happen. But why? Because he was timing every single one of them. He never fought nobody really in their prime. He always
after junior lightweight. Junior lightweight. He did.
100%.
He didn't fight Paul Williams, so we all wanted to
So
see.
he changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody's trying to protect their own. I had to break that right with Tank. I made sure we.
Yeah,
made
you
that
broke
fight.
the protecting the own.
We did.
He points out that Floyd's approach was revolutionary. Instead of allowing fans and networks to exploit him, he flipped the dynamic, exploiting their expectations to his own benefit. This strategy, while brilliant for Floyd, sometimes left fans feeling shortchanged because the fights weren't always as competitive as hoped. Kellerman highlights that Floyd's skill in navigating both the business and athletic sides of boxing is unmatched, giving him a strong argument as one of the greatest fighters ever. However, Kellerman notes that while Floyd may have been the best at playing the boxing game, his dominance was as much about strategy and timing as it was about in-ring talent.
Max Kellerman reflects on Mayweather's career as a masterclass in timing and strategy. Floyd carefully selected moments that maximized advantage, building immense wealth while protecting his undefeated legacy.
Thank you very much.
You got a bag for that.
I had a little, incentive.
But I mean, Floyd has even told me before the Pacquiao fight. He said, "Look, TBE, the best ever. Someone, you want to talk about inside the ring? Someone else could have that." Now, Floyd, I'm sure thinks it's him, and he has a hell of a case. Floyd is he has an argument for best fighter ever. Right. I just don't have him number one. But what he said was, I'm talking about the whole game. He's right. Floyd played the boxing game better than anyone ever played the boxing.
As the debate grows louder and anticipation builds, one question remains. Is this fight about legacy, pride, or pure spectacle? Floyd Mayweather Jr. believes precision and timing will once again prove unbeatable. Mike Tyson trusts that power and experience can still shake the boxing world. Two icons, two eras, one massive spotlight. Whether this showdown becomes a masterclass in skill or a dramatic clash of legends, the world will be watching. And when the bell rings, talk ends, only action decides. Stay tuned, because this isn't just another fight, it's history in the making.